Yeah, so I think that this should be easy enough to remove.
Okay.
So there's more than one, I think, because I've just put my cloak on, cloak of invisibility, and just connected to her basically to have a quick look, and I can see a male with her that's coming across. Again, quite an authoritarian sort of military type approach, really, and there's also a female with him as well.
Okay.
But as yet, I haven't actually contacted them.
Okay. Now these Earthbounds need to be in the right place. They're in the wrong place, aren't they? So first of all, let's ask permission from the client's higher self. Do we have permission to work with the
Yeah. Okay.
client?
So that's been gained.
Okay. So if you'd like to reveal yourself to the male Earthbound.
Okay. Yeah. So a whole lot of expletives. Along the lines of where did you come from?
Right.
But said with a different type of terminology.
So what's his name?
Well, he's calling himself Alexandro.
Okay.
With an O on the end.
Okay, fair enough, Alexander. So what do you think you're up to, Alex? What are you about? What are you doing?
Okay, so he's asking the question back to us to say, I'm more interested in what you're doing, really.
Well, we're interested in protecting our friend from your intrusion.
Okay, so he's laughing basically and saying it's not really an intrusion when I'm invited to talk and connect.
Okay, yeah. Well,
he said, wouldn't it be the other way around? He's saying that I was minding my own business when your client effectively intruded on me.
Okay. Well, again, this is the danger of using the ghost box, isn't it? You know, the instrument. So it's a mistake that the client made, and a mistake a lot of people are making. So lessons are being learned, and I'm sure she would apologise for the intrusion in your space and inviting you in. But what we'd like to do now is to help you, Alex, because are you aware that you're in a space where you're not really supposed to be?
Okay, so he's acknowledging that conversation, and he's saying that he can understand where you're coming from. But he's also saying that he's more than happy where he is, and also the client was very, very interested in experiencing this type of communication and conversation with discarnate entities.
Okay, well, I'm sure she would thank you for that, for giving her the opportunity to learn from the experience. Now, from our understanding, when a physical body dies, the spirit leaves the body and it goes somewhere else. Perhaps you can share with us your experience of the last days of your earth life. What happened to you?
Okay, so he's saying that he was or is from a military background, basically, and saying that his idol was John Wayne, basically. So he became John Wayne, but in the modern world, and he said learnt very quickly that John Wayne isn't isn't completely protected when rushing through warfare, basically. Right. So he's saying that very quickly he became a casualty of war and had a very long, drawn-out, traumatic death.
Right. Which war was this, Alex?
So he is talking about Vietnam.
Really? Yeah. Yeah.
And saying that he was basically burnt to death by the sound of it, but left to die for days.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm really, really sorry to hear that. Of course, in the form that you're now, you're no longer suffering the physical consequences of that, but
he says that you can remember the pain.
Really? All right.
He said, I don't have pain now. He said, I'm in a much better place, but I can remember the last few days, which were obviously quite excruciating.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. What we'd like to do now, and this is the real business that we're in, we'd like to help earthbound souls like yourself move on to a more peaceful, tranquil existence in the light. Do you understand what we're talking about here?
Yeah, he does. He said the reason that he didn't take that opportunity was because he just basically been well, obviously burnt to death
Yeah,
effectively.
yeah, yeah.
And he said that light was the same as the light afterwards,
Yes.
and therefore he's saying, I had no idea that I'd actually died, but then the opportunity disappeared.
Right.
And he's saying to you, actually, can you explain why you only get the opportunity once to go to the light once you've passed?
Well, no, I don't have an answer to that, but what you've experienced is very, very common, and we've had lots of people whose end of life experience has been an explosion, a bombing or similar, and the light has frightened them, so they've not gone to the light, and I can't really explain why they don't find their way to the light after that event, but we are here to help you go to that light now, if that's helpful.
Yeah, so he's just basically confirming, saying that because the incendiary device that he effectively was taken with was exactly the same brightness as what we would term as finding, what he's calling it heaven, the heaven light.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm sort of agreeing with him and saying, yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Well,
Really.
we understand that completely. So I'm going to assume now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when this happened to you, it also happened to other comrades of yours around you who may also find themselves in a similar situation. Would that be correct?
Yeah, so he's saying that there was a whole, well, he's calling it a squadron of them that were basically burnt in this whatever it was, bombing or incendiary type explosion. And he's saying they're all still rooted to the spot that they left their decaying body in, basically.
Okay, so what we are going to suggest to you is the idea that we can help you move on to the light, and your comrades as well, everyone else that was in a similar situation to you at the time, can all go to the light. How does that sound?
Sorry, now I think he's just saying to me, well, and the squadron leader, because I never really liked him.
Everyone. We don't discriminate.
Okay. So I'm just sort of saying that we're not finding it funny, it's just part of the conversation, really.
Yeah. But, the invitation is offered to all those trapped earthbound spirits in a similar situation to you, whether we like them or not. They're all human beings, aren't they? And they all deserve to go to the light where they belong.
So he's just telling me that he's going to go, so he's leaving whatever space he considers himself to be in now, to go back to the place that all of his friends basically are still rooted. And I said, with that, I'll also ask my guide Chen and his team to go with you, and they'll basically disconnect those spiritual parts of those people from the physical body that's obviously still I guess not decaying now, but it's obviously covered under the ground or buried or whatever. And he said once he has his squadron, then he'll leave. And he's also asking what's happening with Margaret. And Margaret's the other lady that's with him that I think is connected to the client.
Okay, well, perhaps we can speak with Margaret, and we can either help Margaret as we help Alex, or perhaps Margaret may like to be treated separately. What does Margaret feel about this?
Yeah, okay, so I'm just connecting to her. So she's presenting herself as a really old lady, sort of grey hair, a walking stick, and she's saying she doesn't know how she ended up connected to the client, but she came through the machine. So again, this is the talking box, I guess, that has somehow energetically embedded her energetic structure into the client's etheric field, effectively. And she said the lady would know I'm the quietly spoken one that she hears. So she's just trying to confirm that to the client.
Right. Well, let's ask Margaret to wait just a few moments whilst we help Alex. I'd like to focus my attention on Alex again, the soldier. In order to help us understand and to help our fellow researchers understand these principles, Alex, would it be possible for you to give us any further details about yourself and the unit that you served with when you had this experience in Vietnam. What could you tell us your full name, your rank, your unit, your military number? Could you tell us information like that?
Yeah, okay, so he's saying that his surname is Kanashikov, or something along those lines. So just asking him to spell that, because obviously it doesn't ring very clearly to me. So it's Kanashikov, Kanakashoff, Kanashikov. So it's Alexandru Kanashikov. And he's saying that his military number was 321645. And he was part of the American Infantry Division 2, whatever that is,
yeah.
ground attack force. And he's saying his squadron consisted of 22 people, plus the one they don't like, which is the squadron leader.
Okay.
I just asked him how old he was, so he's saying that he was 19.
Oh, really? Right. And what rank were you, Alex?
Nothing.
Private first class? PFC, or just a grunt?
Grunt, he said. I was nothing. He said, remember I thought I was John Wayne at the time?
Yeah, right.
So I think he had sort of ideas of grandiose in a way that he was going to be, sort of Rambo type character, really.
Well, you may be interested to know that I too was a soldier in my younger days, and I actually served with the American Army in Germany. I was with the 2nd Battalion, 15th Infantry of the 7th US Army. Just for your information.
So you're saying you're the real John Wayne then, because you're still here? He's saying it's not like the films, is it?
No, well, I was a British soldier. We're a bit more disciplined than the John Waynes.
Yeah. He's saying we were, well, he's just saying to me, he said we were basically dead before we'd even left the vehicles, basically.
Yeah, you're still children, Alex. It's sad. It was a sad war. Anyway, listen, you're on your way now to the light, and the guides will take you back to the battlefield, and you can collect up your comrades, and you can all ascend to the light together. And we wish you well.
Okay, so he's just sort of expressing his thanks and saying how could he ever repay you? John Wayne.
There's no need for you to repay us. We're just here to help, okay?
Yeah, so I was just saying to him, you never know, one day we might come across each other on the other side, perhaps.
Yes.
Because obviously we'll be there one day, so...
And soldiers will always be comrades.
Yeah, it's quite sweet, actually. So he's actually in tears of sort of jubilation that he's going to see his friends and help them. So he's saying they'll be buying me beer when we get back.
Right, and even the squadron commander can have a beer with you too.
Yeah, he's not quite so keen on him. So that doesn't change, obviously, in death, does it? The people that you liked or people you didn't like.
Who knows? Anyway, Godspeed to you. God bless, and have a safe journey.
Okay, so Chen's just confirming that he's going to do the rest, basically.
Okay, good. Right, well, let's turn our attention now to Margaret, isn't it?
Margaret Smith, actually, she says.
Okay, Margaret. Hello, Margaret Smith. And can you remember the last thing that happened to you before your spirit left your body?
Well, so she's saying that she was in hospital on a bed.
Mm-hmm.
And she said I could hear everybody, but nobody could hear me. She was in a coma, I'm guessing, basically.
Right.
And she said I just died of old age, effectively.
Okay, so I wonder why you didn't go to the light the first time.
Because of her cat. It was just slightly in front of your conversation. So she's saying my cat had already passed, basically, and it was waiting for me. Mm-hmm. So she said when I died, I couldn't believe that my cat was still there waiting for me.
So does that explain why she held back?
So she's saying that even though she knew or had the feeling that she should have been going to the light, she was more interested in being with the cat, basically.
Right, okay. Right, well,
because that brings up a question to us, I guess, doesn't it? I've never really thought about animals going to the light when they pass or where they do go in that way.
Well, I've had experiences of animals coming to collect their loved ones, because I was going to use the word owner, but they're loved ones, just like family.
Yeah. So this cat was obviously waiting for its. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's ask if Margaret would like to go and join her loved one, the cat, in the light.
So she's agreeing that she would.
Okay. Can we arrange for that to happen?
Yeah. So I'm just opening the door and calling in someone that she's familiar with from the other side, and just making sure that Chen is basically verifying that she's passing. So Chen said whilst we've been talking, they've been basically untangling her energetic strands from the client's etheric field.
Yeah.
And that obviously allows her then to move on. So she's now gone, basically.
Good. So let's have a check with the client, her etheric field. Is there anything else that...
So I can't hear any voices at all now. Whereas when I connected before, obviously Alexandra was quite powerfully disgruntled.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's nothing else there that I can pick up on at all. And there's no negs attached because the sovereignty check passes. And I can't see anything else around her etheric field. So again, I think we just need to make sure that she's actually doing the whole sea salt routine thing.
Okay.
So, sea salt bath or shower and putting some around her bed and her door thresholds.
Protecting herself and not using ghost boxes anymore.
Yeah, so again, as we said at the start of the conversation, just by engaging the app, effectively is giving your permission for things to contact you.
Yeah.
So even though you may not at that point have actually contacted anything, effectively you're throwing the door open to the other side. Which is, most people won't realise, I guess.
Okay, and those professional researchers who are using this technology, don't keep this to yourself. It needs to become common knowledge that this is a dangerous thing to do if it's not properly supervised. And the professional researchers need to acknowledge publicly that there is a dark side that needs to be, that we need to be protected from.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point as well, Terry, because as spirit becomes more and more accepted, because it will, because it's becoming a bigger thing, there's nothing wrong with engaging and talking to other entities. It's interesting, isn't it, having conversations with different energies and entities. You just need to know how to do it and what to do to protect yourself, really.
Well, there's a debate going on with so-called paranormal researchers who are complaining that their research is not being recognised by mainstream science. There seems to be a fear of mainstream science accepting paranormal researchers in the dialogue. And this is probably because the paranormal researchers are not reinforcing the message that psychic phenomena, psychic abilities are good. They have healing power, as we are demonstrating in the work that we do. So let the parapsychologists acknowledge the good side and the dark side, rather than just trying to create their own language as a science in its own right. And I'm not going to go any further into that, but just leave it there. Any advice and comments from Chen or any other guide?
Okay, so Chen's just basically reinforcing your statement to say that working with the other side, as he calls it, is a great thing, and it's going to become a bigger phenomenon, because he's saying as the vibration of the planet changes, people will start to see other energies through their own physical eyes. So he's saying that this is a must do, basically, but like everything, there's a right way and a wrong way, and it's trying to pass the message out to people that there is a right way and there is a wrong way, and if you do the wrong thing, then you get the problems that will come with that.
Okay, well, let's hope that when this conversation becomes public, it will open the debate wider. And on that final comment, I'm going to thank Chen and the higher self of the client and thank Alex and Margaret, and we say goodbye and thank you very much.